I hope all of you physically healthy and mentally very happy, and very happy to see all of you again after few weeks gap. And also I hope all of you very much enjoying the nice weather, the cooling weather. And also, the last time when we had the Lamrim class, I asked all of you to do, homework. I hope all of you have done the homework. And also this day, I think people are very much worried about 2021. I guess 2021 cannot be very fantastic year, cannot be very worse year. It can be, I think, same as today. Therefore, you should not be very much worried. And at the beginning, thank you so much for reciting all the chanting. I hope all of you cultivate the proper motivation, mainly motivation for achieving the fully enlightened state, to free all sentient beings from sufferings, also for achieving your own achievement. So each time when we have a Dharma class, make sure you generate the proper motivation. The motivation can change everything. If you're not able to cultivate proper motivation at the beginning, then the rest of the session cannot be session of Dharma. So before we start a new kind of class, new topic, I remind you what we study in the past about meditation. At the beginning, Lama Tsong-kha-pa clearly mentioned, so we need to practice the both, which is meditative serenity and special insight. If we only practice the meditative serenity, we cannot really control all the negative thoughts from the root. Therefore, we need to practice special insight with the meditative serenity. Without accomplish meditative serenity, if we try to achieve special insight, so we cannot achieve special insight without accomplish the meditative serenity. So the meditative serenity is a very important foundation for achieving special insight. As a Buddhist, it is very, very much, very important to do the proper meditation for controlling the negative thoughts, meditation to get rid of all the negative thoughts from the root. Therefore, we need to do meditation, which is the union of meditative serenity and spiritual insight. So in order to achieve meditative serenity, we need to eliminate, we need to get rid of the laziness. Being lazy, having a lot of laziness is a great obstacle to practice the Dharma, particularly a great obstacle to achieve meditative serenity. So how we can reduce, how we can eliminate the laziness? Then Lama Tsong-kha-pa mentioned very clearly, first we need to remember, we need to reflect on the benefits of meditation, benefit of meditative serenity. So when we remember the benefits of concentration, meditation, then we feel I must accomplish the meditative serenity. So we always remember, without meditative serenity, I cannot achieve spiritual insight. We cannot achieve shamatha. Without achieving shamatha, we cannot fully control the negative thoughts. If we're not able to fully control the negative thoughts, then we always engage with the negative thoughts, with the different actions. Then we always accumulate negative actions. Then we always have sufferings and problems. Therefore, need to reflect the benefit of meditation. So when we fully believe, it is so important to achieve meditative serenity in order to achieve spiritual insight. Then second, how we should practice the meditative serenity. Then is mentioned very clearly the precondition, the conducive condition to practice meditative serenity and spiritual insight. There's a few conditions. The most important condition, we need a quiet place as a beginner. We need to stay very quietly. We need a quiet place. It's a very important condition, the person who wishes to achieve serenity. It is quite easy to have quiet place. If you totally close your doors and window, you totally close your rooms, doors and window, the place becomes very quiet. Second, we need the inner quiet, the quietness in inner condition. In order to have the inner quietness, so we need to control all kinds of the mental activities. Particularly, we need to control the desire for food, desire for our daily activities. Then we have two important conditions. Externally, the quiet place. Innerly, the less the mental activity, less desire, less anger. Then also mention, when we do the meditation, we always have to be very careful about our food and drink. If we eat very heavy, oily food, suddenly we feel our body become very heavy, very easy to fall into sleep. Food, also drink. So we have to careful what we should drink, what we should not drink. These are the conducive or pre-condition. Then number 3, when we do actually meditation, how we should sit on the chair or sit on the bed, how the sitting position. Then this mentioned, add features of meditative posture. Due to the agings, due to not having habit to sit as a cross leg, you can sit on the chair, you can sit on the bed. The most important part, your upper body have to be keep straight. Then the energy, the blood circulation circle very smoothly. The air also move very smoothly all parts of your body, particularly your upper body, also include your brain. They talk about the sitting posture. Then number 4, so what I should, how I meditate on what object. Then they mention, many, actually 4 kinds of object of meditation. So here, very important, before we start our meditation, you need to reflect about your mind. You need to look your mind. So what kind of minds I have right now? If your mind is very balanced, not so strong kind of negative thoughts, not so strong positive thoughts, or your mind is very neutral, then you can directly, meditate on the object of particular object of meditation. Let's say everybody meditate on impermanence. Impermanence is our object of meditation. Object of meditation for achieving meditative serenity. That means we always need to meditate impermanence until we achieve meditative serenity. At the beginning of meditation, at the end of the meditation, you can meditate on many different objects. You can visualize, many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. You can have many kinds of visualization. But during the meditation session, we must meditate on only one object. This object, we should not change at all. At every time, you just meditate on one object until we, achieve the meditative serenity. In between, somehow due to different conditions, sometimes you notice your attachment is so strong. Without reducing the attachment, the particular attachment, when you try to meditate on impermanence, you cannot. Therefore, urgently you need to reduce the particular attachment. Now remember, object of meditation for purifying afflictions. So if you notice, oh, this morning, right now, my attachment is so strong. So what kinds of attachment you have? I have attachment about our food, clothes, name, fame, position, friends. What kind of attachment we have? Let's say, oh, this moment I cannot do meditation on impermanence because I have a so strong attachment about food. I have a so strong desire to eat the particular food. Then how we should, reduce the attachment to food and desiring for the food. Then you need to remember the food. Then must think, when I eat the food looks very tasty. After I, chew for a few times, the food become very ugly. It can help to reduce attachment to food, attachment reduce the desire. Think about eating, this and that food is not good for my health. Or sometimes you notice, oh, right now I'm very angry. Angry with one of my family. Angry with my old family. Angry with my boss. Angry with my worker. Angry with my, life partner. Therefore, anger must reduce urgently. So how we should reduce anger urgently? Then must remember, practice kindness, practice compassion, practice love. Here, I think last few days I was thinking, we always talk about, love, compassion, and kindness, loving kindness. We always have been saying, we always say loving kindness. So in Tibetan, we have a very clear words. Chamba mean love. Nyingje, compassion. Loving kindness, sewa. Sewa mean it's very easy to have kindness, loving kindness. When you see, so this day very easy to see us, when you go to the food court, you can see over like 70, maybe around over 60, 70, 80 years old, the uncle, auntie pulling the trolley, collect all the trays, clean the table. When you see this person, you have a very kind heart. You can feel their, you can feel how they have difficulties. When you see, oh, that moment you have a kind heart. This is kindness. Second, when you see this person is very old, having a lot of difficulties, then you wish the person always be happy. This is love. When you have a mind wishing the person free from this problem, this is the compassion. So in order to develop love and compassion, first we need kind heart. We need to feel, the suffering of the suffer person, the person who have problems. So through practicing love and compassion, kindness, you can reduce the anger. So particular, antidotes to reduce particular negative thoughts. So you need to know which object we must meditate on. Urgently, what kind of methods we need to control the particular negative thoughts. Then, right now, let's say now we already chosen the object of meditation. Now, I want to do meditation on the chosen object. So when you do meditation, always remember the most important, like a foundation for meditation is mindfulness. We need very strong mindfulness. Then I said many times, we should not think mindfulness and meditation is same. It's totally different. The mindfulness is the kind of mind to remember the things. The meditation is the mind which is focused on the chosen object. So in order to meditate on the object of meditation, one of the mind must remember the object of meditation. So many often we cannot do meditation because we very easily, forget the object of meditation. Then here, I think I hope all of you remember what does mean, forgetting object of meditation. It doesn't mean you cannot remember. In order to remember, it doesn't mean somebody need you to remind. No, mean exactly 7 a.m. you meditate on impermanence. For example, 7 a.m. you meditate on impermanence. 7 past 2 minutes, your mind's wandering something else. That means that the meditative mind totally forgotten the object of meditation, which is impermanence. Because we don't have a strong, powerful mindfulness, always remember the impermanence. Right? Therefore, first we need mindfulness. Second, top of the mindfulness, we need vigilance. Vigilance. So mindfulness always help us to remember the chosen object of meditation. The vigilance always help us to notice the mind is not meditating on impermanence. The mind is wondering something else. So in order to do the proper meditation, we need mindfulness as a foundation. We need the vigilance as a monitor. When the vigilance help us to notice the mind is now wandering wandering something else, then again the mindfulness must remember the object, the mind forced to focus on the object of meditation. Here I will tell you, very important kind of story. I think the fifth of the Dalai Lama, he was doing retreat in Potala place. He was doing meditation for retreat for, I think, quite a long time. Then there was a monk, he visited Potala and asked the assistant, I want to see Dalai Lama, which is fifth Dalai Lama. I want to see him. Then the assistant says, no, you cannot visit him. You cannot see him because he is in retreat. Then the monk says, no, he's not in retreat. He's going around the the Lhasa market. He's going around the market. Then the assistant says, no, he's a retreat. He's meditating. Somehow, the assistant refused him to visit Dalai Lama. And then I think during the lunchtime, the assistant says, informed to the fifth Dalai Lama, the Dalai Lama, today the monk came, he wanted to see you. Then I refused him to see because you are in the retreat. And the monk says, you are not in retreat, you are going around the market. Did you go in the market? Then suddenly Dalai Lama remembered, yes, Lama was correct. While I am doing meditation, somehow my mind is wondering about the market. That means physically, he was in the retreat. Mentally, his mind is going around. Same, when we do meditation, yes, physically look like, you and me, we are look like doing meditation. But the mind is not focused on the chosen object. The mind is wondering something else. Because, number one, we don't have a good mindfulness. Number two, we don't have a very sensitive visualizations. So we need to generate mindfulness and vigilance. So how we can generate mindfulness? That you must remember, you need to read, you need to think repeatedly about the impermanence. Very often you need to think, you need to reflect again and again, impermanent. Then when you do meditation on impermanence, and always the mindfulness will remember the impermanence, then the mind can focus on impermanent continuously. Then how we can develop vigilance? Remember, then the Lama Tsong-kha-pa says, most important, always generate good mindfulness is help you to have a good vigilance. Right? So the vigilance help us to notice our mind is not focused on the chosen object due to two reasons: laxity and excitement. So also we have, we studied very precisely the meaning of laxity, meaning of excitement, differences between laxity, lethargy, the foggy mind. So these two are very important to know the meaning, because when we do meditation, some of you may feel, oh, this day somehow I can do better meditation because my mind is always there, always focus the chosen object. Yes, it is true, you can focus on the chosen object continuously, maybe 10, 20 minutes. It doesn't mean your meditation is flawless. That moment, your mind already under control of the laxity. So when we do meditation, yes, the mind must focus on the chosen object very clearly, intensively. Mean focus very clearly. That moment, there's no clarity. Mean your mind is already go under the laxity. It is very easy to notice the excitement occur, because you can see my mind is not focusing, is something, wanting something where, something else. So recognizing this true, is very important. Then what we should do when these two are not occurring, what should we do when this one of them is occurring during the meditation? Then remember, they are talking about application and non-application. Then the last class, we study for 2 days. The meditative serenity, we must achieve step by steps. Step 1 until step 9. Step 9s. Before them also we study 5 falls, 8 antidotes. I hope you remember very clearly. Because many times I repeat. I can go, just as a page by page, finish very quickly. But I repeat, always repeat, because make sure all of you understand. It is very, very important to know the flawless meditation. How to do meditation? What are the obstacles? How to purify? How to eliminate the obstacles? If you are not become good in meditation, if you are not master in meditation, then all our practices become very simple, ordinary practice. We cannot reduce the negative thoughts. Definitely we cannot eliminate. Therefore, the flawless meditation is very, very important. So please, everybody, read very often this section, fully understand, how to do meditation, fully understand what are the obstacles, fully understand how to eliminate when the obstacle arises. Not just understand, not just fully, you have a knowledge about meditation. You have to go through your daily practice, meditation. So please, everybody, very serious about meditation. Then the 9 mental states. So when we go through, when we gone through the 9 mental steps, it looks like he's really teach us the meditation, the 9 steps as a, the baby, the little boy and girl who come to school first time. First the teacher teach A, B. Then the children just, say A, B. But when the boy, the little student return to home, he cannot remember actually the image of the A, B. Still, little boys and girls have been saying A, B. This kind of, A, B, which he's saying, he just learned from someone. He just copied from someone. Same way, when we do, for example, do meditation on impermanence, first we need to learn impermanence. Therefore, the teacher, the master, the books explain impermanence. Then we say, yes, this thing impermanence. We just believe, we just saying, teaching by someone, mentioned in books. We never reflect by ourselves. First, we need to recognize the object of meditation, which is impermanence. Then our mind just remember impermanence. The second, reflect upon impermanence very repeatedly. Then our mind continuously able to meditate on impermanence. Therefore, there are 9 mental states. So please, everybody remember, the kind of differences between the 9 mental states. Okay, without looking your Lamrim, everybody be honest. Without looking your Lamrim book, can you remember what are the 9 mental states? Please remember all the 9 mental states. One second, I will go through the. So without looking your book, what's the number one mental placement. Number 2, continuous placement. That means first you need to learn how to focus. How to focus. Then you extend the duration, continuously focus. Continuous placement. Then number 3, perch placement. That means meditate continuously. That time, when you reach to the number 3, that time you need very strong mindfulness. Number 4, close placement. Number 5, taming. Taming means you need to tame your mind. Number 6, pacification. What need to pacify? You need to pacify the disturbing thoughts. Also, when the desire arrived, you need to control your 5 senses. Then number 7, complete pacification. Number 8, one-pointed attention. Number 9, balance placement. So those are the 9 mental steps. As a beginner, you really need to go step by step. First, you spend few days only the mental placement, only learn how to focus. Just meditate on impermanence, relax. Again, focus on impermanence and relax. Again, focus on impermanence, relax. First, you need to learn how to focus. Just how to focus. Then step number 2, not just focus, how to focus continuously. Focus on impermanence, first focus, continuously focus for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, relax. You need to rest, you need to relax, you need to rest, should not force to continuous focus. Again, focus on impermanence, continuous focus, maybe 4 minutes. Then you can extend the duration. Then number 3, the perch placement. Mean focus, continuously focus, then you notice you forgot the object of meditation. Then generate the mindfulness, again remember the impermanence, and again focus, continuously focus. The mind cannot focus on impermanence. Again, remember the impermanence, or generate mindfulness, remember impermanence. Then close placement. So please go step by steps. So new topic, I also ask you to study about the 6 forces. Without looking your Lamrim, at your Lamrim, can you please remember what are the 6 forces? 6 forces. Number 1, with the force of hearing. Number 2, with the force of reflection. Number 3, with the force of mindfulness. Number 4, with the force of vigilance. Number 5, with the force of enthusiasm or with the force of effort. Number 6, with the force of acquaintance, very familiarization. So you need to remember the 6 forces. Then through the 6 forces, you will know how to go through the 9 steps. Now we study what does mean with the force of hearing. Before that, B, the process of achieving them mean the process of achieving the 9 mental steps, the 9 mental placement. There are 6 forces. The force of the hearing, the force of the reflection, the force of the mindfulness, the force of the vigilance, the force of the enthusiasm, the force of the true acquaintance. The methods of accomplishing the mental state with these forces is follow. So please remember the 6 forces. Right now we're going to study. So now you can do your book. With the force of hearing, you accomplish the mental placement. The reason for this is the due to flowing instruction that you have merely heard from someone else about focusing on the object of meditation. At first, you simply fix your attention upon the object. But this is not a case of familiarity due to your own repeated reflections. Now, hearing. So we all together want to do meditation on impermanence. First, we need to know. We just hear about impermanence, hear about death. Then I'll just focus about impermanence. Well, we focus on impermanence, just follow, after the teacher or follow the books, whatever. Just focus, not repeat, reflections. Number 2, with the force of reflection, you accomplish the mental step of the continual placement. First force, through the first force, we can accomplish the first mental state. Clear? Then with the force of reflection, we can accomplish the second mental state, which is continual placement. For as a consequences of practice of repeatedly reflect on the continuation of the interflexion on the attention upon the object of meditation. Second, we reflect, we often think about impermanence. Then we meditate on impermanence. This is the force of reflection. That means the first two, through the first two, achieve the first and second mental states. Number three, with the force of mindfulness, you accomplish the mental states of perch, placement of number one, then number two, close placement. For in this case of perch placement, when your attention is distracted away from the object of meditation, you are mindful of the previous object of meditation and your attention is drawn back in. And in this case of the close placement, you generate the powerful of mindfulness from the beginning, right? So through the force of mindfulness, we're going to accomplish the two, which is the perch and close placement, two. Then continuously you can see, you generate the power of mindfulness from the beginning, and this prevents your attention from being distracted away from the object of meditations. That means there are two kinds of mindfulness is mentioned here. One mindfulness we need to apply when we forget the object of meditation in between. For example, at the beginning, we meditate on impermanence for a few minutes, then our mind is wandering something else. So the mind, the concentration mind, fully forgotten the impermanence. Then the mindfulness must mindful about impermanence is come in between. Another mindfulness, which is beginning of the meditation. So beginning of the meditation, if we have very strong mindfulness about impermanence, is have continuously meditate on impermanence. Therefore, the mindfulness, with the force of mindfulness, help us to accomplish the true. Then number four, with the force of vigilance, you accomplish the mental state of the taming and of the pacification. So through the force of vigilance, it helps us to achieve the true, the mental statement. What are they? Taming and pacification. With the force of enthusiasm, mean the force of effort, you accomplish the mental state of complete pacification and of the one-pointed attention. 4, by striving to eliminate even the subtle thoughts and the secondary afflictions, you do not submit to them, and you so doing, laxity, excitement, etc. are unable to interfere with your concentration, and you achieve continuous concentration. With the force of enthusiasm, right? Enthusiasm means the force of effort. So while we are doing meditation, so our mind in our meditation become quite good. Then make sure we know the gross excitement, laxity cannot occur anymore, but there's a danger to occur the subtle laxity and excitement. Subtle laxity and excitement. Through the force of enthusiasm, when we notice the subtle, excitement and laxity arise, immediately we need to put an effort to eliminate the subtle kinds of laxity and excitement. We should not let them arise continuously. When it arises, must clear right there. Therefore, effort. With the force of enthusiasm. Now the last one, with the force of acquaintance, you accomplish the mental state of balance, placement. 4, with the force of great familiarity with the above, you develop effortless or natural concentration. So when you totally, eliminate excitement, laxity, then, for example, when you start meditating on impermanence at the 7 a.m., then the duration go continuously without interrupting, nothing interfering between. It can go maybe a few hours. Therefore, please remember the enthusiasm, force of enthusiasm, the force of acquaintance. Otherwise, there's no point to learn the 6 forces. 6 forces. So without looking your Lamrim, please everybody try to remember the 6 power. So we have a few minutes. First you read Lamrim and study about the 6 forces. Okay, now, without looking at Lamrim, please tell me what are the 6 forces. Number 1, with the force of hearing. Number 2, with the force of reflection. Number 3, with the force of mindfulness. Number 4, the force of vigilance. Number 5, the force of enthusiasm. Number 6, the force of acquaintance. That means hearing, reflection, mindfulness, vigilance, enthusiasm, acquaintance. Those are the 6 forces. Next, importantly, how we can achieve the 6 the mental states through these 6 forces. That means through hearing, the force of your, the power of hearing, the hearing of power, you can achieve the first mental state. Then, with the force of reflection, you can achieve the second, the mental state, continual placement. Then, with the force of mindfulness, you can achieve, I think, the true. Yeah, with the force of mindfulness, you can achieve the mental states. What are they? The perched placement and closed placement. Here you must remember, we need 2 kinds of mindfulness. One, beginning of the meditation. Second, we need in between. When you forgot the object meditation, then you need another mindfulness to remember the object of meditation. At the beginning, if we have a good, powerful mindfulness, then it can be continuously able to meditate on the object for meditation for quite a long time. Then, with the force of vigilance, we can achieve true. With the force of vigilance, we can achieve the 2 mental statements. What are they? Taming and pacification. 4, with the vigilance, you recognize the force of the being, scattered thoughts, and sign of the secondary reflection, thoughts. So here, you need to know the differences in just thoughts. Second is mentioned here, the signs of the secondary reflections. Affliction, there's the root afflictions, they are the 6. Then the secondary afflictions. Thoughts, when we do meditation, let's say we all together first, meditate on impermanence. Suddenly we remember, I need to check my message. This is just thoughts, neither positive nor negative thoughts. Remember texting, remember checking text, remember, need to do something else. These are just thoughts pop up in your mind, right? It's noticed through vigilance. These are just simple thoughts, neither negative nor positive. Next, again, we do meditation on impermanence. We meditate on impermanence, we are meditating. Suddenly, you remember the person whom you don't like. You remember because of the anger. Suddenly you remember you want to meet someone due to attachment, due to desire. Right? Therefore, thoughts, we mentioned thoughts. Now, vigilance, you recognize the force of the being scattered towards the thoughts and the sign of the secondary sign, like a sign referred to the causes and condition to produce the secondary afflictions. True. Then, with the force of enthusiasm, you accomplish the mental statement of complete pacification, and one pointed attention is the 7 and 8. 4. By striving to eliminate thus even subtle thoughts and secondary afflictions, you do not submit to them. Do not submit. Therefore, when we do meditation, some thoughts arise. Don't let them arise. Don't submit it. Don't just need to stop. Otherwise, we really cannot achieve meditation. So then the next point, the next paragraph is kind of summary, is kinds of the ordering, the order of the 9 mental states. The achievement of the number 9, the achievement of the 9th mental state can be understood in terms of analogy. In the case of those who are extremely familiar with the reciting scriptures and so on, if the internal motivation to recite arise and they begin, even though the mind is occasionally distracted elsewhere, the recitation continues effortlessly. This is the analogy. Example. Without interruption, right? This is an example. In a similar fashion, once your mind is settled with the mindfulness fixed upon the object of meditation, even if you do not continuously cultivate mindfulness and vigilance, your concentration is able to focus continuously for a long period of time without being interrupted by scattering. Since effort is not need to maintain the continuous stream of mindfulness and vigilance. This is said to be without application or effort. So this is the exact, the measure or the meaning of the number 9, the mental state. So now we know, did I achieve the 9th mental state or not? You can test this way. At the beginning, you should have a motivation to meditate on impermanence. You have a motivation on meditating impermanence. You start to meditate on impermanence. But then the meditation continuously go quite a long time without interrupting. It's go continuously. If you have this kind of experience, then yes, your meditation reach to the 9th mental state. 9th. For that to arise, in order to arise the 9th mental state, we need to achieve the 8th. Right? When you reach to the 9th kind of floor, you need to reach to the 8th. Reach to the 8th, you need to reach to the 7, then 5, 4. For that to arise, in an earlier phase of the practice, you continuously and energetically cultivate mindfulness and vigilance. During that phase, it is necessary to produce a concentration that can be sustained throughout long meditation session without it being able to disturbed by such as hindrance, laxity, and excitement. This is the 8th mental states. Right? So in order to reach our practice in the 9th level, we must achieve the 8th. In order to achieve the 8th level of mental state, we need to produce, the concentration can be sustained throughout long meditation, long time, without being able to be disturbed by hindrance, like a laxity and excitement. How we can stop these two? The next sentence here, this that cannot be hindered by factors such as laxity and excitement that are incompatible with concentration. However, in this 8th state, you must uninterruptedly cultivate mindfulness and vigilance. So it is said to be a state with the application or effort. Number 9 and 8, both able to meditate on the same object quite long time, but the 9 go through effortlessly. The 8 still have to be very careful, make sure the laxity, excitement not arising. Therefore, that time, the practitioner need very powerful mindfulness and vigilance. Right? Therefore, in order to achieve mental 9, it depends on 8. 8 depends on 7. State is, so therefore here, for this to arise, you must stop even the subtle laxity, excitement, etc. as soon as they occur without submitting to them. So their 7th mental state is necessary. So now I think this one doesn't matter how long we can talk. No matter how long you read, without going through experience, you're not going to understand. Not going to understand. Therefore, when we reach to the 9th, it's just before the meditative serenity, just before the meditative serenity, 9th. So if you know you are reached to the 9 or not, you need to test. You can test about it. At the beginning, let's say, we all together going to meditate on impermanence. We think then, yes, through the mindfulness, the mind remember the impermanence, then the general mind focus on impermanence. Since if we able to meditate on impermanence continuously more than 1 or 2 hours, yes, that means we reach to the 9 mental state. But it go continuously, but between we need to use application. We need to use effort to stop the subtle laxity and excitement. Mean you haven't reached to the 9, you reach to the 8. Right? Because there's a danger to interrupt our meditation by laxity and excitement. Then in order to reach to the 8th level, we need to achieve the 7. The 7, when we do meditation on impermanence, we notice excitement arise. Not the gross one, very subtle excitement. Then we use our effort, mindfulness, and remember again the object. That means excitement control. Also same laxity. So in order to reach to the 7 mental states, the 7 level, we always need to use mindfulness and vigilance. Through practicing vigilance and mindfulness, we are able to recognize the subtle excitement arise, we must stop. The subtle laxity arise, we must stop. Here, what you need to remember the differences between subtle and gross excitement, between subtle and gross laxity. The subtle laxity is always a positive mental factor. The gross laxity is a neutral, right? Excitement, then also what you need to remember here, remember excitement and distraction mind. If your meditative mind distracted based on attachment, then it is kind of excitement. If your meditative mind distracted by other thoughts, is a destructive mind, but not excitement. So you remember these two. The 7 mental state is necessary. For these to arise, these mentals refer to 7. For these to arise, you must recognize that the destruction of thoughts and secondary reflection is a disadvantage. And you must have intense vigilance that monitors your attention so that it does not disappear to them. So the 5th and the 6th mental states are necessary. So 7 depend on the 5th and 6th. Furthermore, for such as mental states to arise, you must have the mindfulness that swiftly recalls the object of meditation when you are distracted from it, and mindfulness that prevents distraction from the object of meditation from the very outset. So the 3rd and the 4th mental state are necessary. For you to accomplish these two with these 2 kinds of mindfulness. 2 kinds of mindfulness I mentioned a few times. One is at the beginning, you need mindfulness. Second is we need mindfulness in between. For this to arise, your attention must first of all be fixed upon the object of meditation, and you must have undistracted continually of the fixation. So the first 2 mental states arise before the other. So when you read this particular path, you can start from 9 all the way to 1, or you can go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 9. How 1 can arise second can arise third, 4, 5, and 8. Again, you can reflect from the 8. 8 must arise based on the 7. 7 depend on the 6, 5, 4, so and so. So you read very carefully this part and just go through your experience. There's a more kind of summary here. Therefore, in summary, so this is a summary about the 9 mental states. First of all follows the personal instruction that you have heard and correctly apply the methods for seating your attention in the balanced fashion. They repeatedly reflect on the way of setting your attentions. So this is, I think, very easy to understand. So today our class, at the beginning, let you remember what we have learned, how we have to go through, these steps. And today's lesson, first we study about the 9 mental state. Not only just 9, you need to remember each of the meaning of the 9. Then we learn the 6 forces. What are the 6 forces? And also we learn how we can achieve the 9 mental state through the 6 forces. Then third, we learn how the 9 mental state can arise based on the 8. 8 can arise based on 7. 7, 6, 4, so and so. Next, we're going to study about the force for attention are involved. 9 mental state, 6 forces mean the 9 mental state can achieve through the 6 forces or 6 powers. But I think another book also mentioned power, 6 powers. Today, again, we study a little bit about the 4 attentions. Please, everybody read about the four attentions. 4 attention. Okay, 4 attentions. What is the number 1? Tight focus. Number 2, intermittent focus. Number 3, uninterrupted focus. 4, spontaneous focus. Those are the 4 attention. Mean when we think about the 9 mental state, then first we name, tight focus. As a beginner, we all, very beginner about meditation. Therefore, as a beginner, the first kind of mental state, we need to put a lot of kind of focus. We need to hold the object very tightly. Therefore, tight focus. Then, second, they name intermittent focus. Third, uninterrupted focus. Number 4, spontaneous focus. Now, in these first 2, what are the first 2? Among the 9, the first 2. What are the first 2? Can you remember? among the 9, what are the first 2? The mental placement, continuous placement. Right? These 2. These 2 they name tight focused. In the first 2 mental state of the mental placement and the correct, is here mentioned correct mental placement, but continuously placement. There is the attention of tight focus. This means the first is 2, we need very strong, tight attention to focus and continuously focus. First 2. And the next 5, I think is 5. There is the attention of the tight focus in the next 5 mental states. What are the 5? There is the attention of the tight focus in the next 5 mental state of Vidon mental placement, perch placement, close placement, taming, pacification, and complete pacification. Those are their name, intermittent focus. There's the attention of intermittent focus. In the 8 mental state of single channeling, or another name they call one-pointed attention. This name called the attention they named uninterrupted focus. There's attention of uninterrupted focus. In the 9th, number 9th, state of concentrated awareness or the balance placement, there's a attention of effortless. Attention or motivation, kind of. That means first 2, they call tight attention. You need really strong attention to focus, continuously focus. The next 5, is kind of tightly focused, but it's between there's a lot of, kind of interruption. Then 8 is totally uninterrupted. When you meditate, you continuously meditate. There cannot be any other hindrance to interrupt. The 9 they call balance, effortless. Okay, so today we can stop here as a new class. We learn like 9 mental steps, 6 forces, how to achieve the 9 mental steps through 6 forces. And also we learn difference between the 6 forces. Also we learned the 4 attention. Among the 9, first we call tight focus. The next 5 we call intermittent, mean able to focus. In between there are a lot of interrupting. Then the 8 we call uninterrupted, cannot interrupt by laxity and excitement. The last one called balance. So today I really, because I've been in Singapore more than 8 years. For the 8 years, we have a mini classes. Class about Lamrim, class about Heart Sutra, class about Rasini Sutra, class about the 4 Noble Truths, class about the dependent arising, 12 dependent arising, and between there's a lot of kind of His teaching. So I do revision. Almost for the 8 years, almost 7 years, I have a lot of classes, mini classes. I'm really hoping all of you not just only, attend the class on Saturday and Sunday. Also, you have many other classes from other teachers, other masters, which I really appreciate all of you. We must, do the proper study. But most importantly, if you only study for many hours, study for many teachers, study about many topics, you're not practicing, you are not meditating, then all the study knowledge is just simply become knowledge. Therefore, meditation is very important. Also, whatever we learn, whatever we study about, whatever we learn Dharma, whatever we study Dharma, everything for practicing. So we have to practice. If you don't practice, again, all the knowledge you receive from many teachers, you receive from many books, also it's just simply knowledge. It doesn't help you to self-realization. It doesn't help you to reduce your negative thoughts. Never have to achieve liberation and Buddhahood. Therefore, we need to practice. We need to do a lot of meditation. Therefore, all the study, we have to go through our experience. Also, please make sure the Dharma knowledge which you have, make sure you apply every moment in your daily life. Whether you are eating, whether you are talking to someone, whether some negative emotion arising, you must apply. Otherwise, when the negative thoughts arise, let them arise for a few hours, few days, few weeks. If you don't apply Dharma, then Dharma is totally become useless. Therefore, please, you apply the Dharma knowledge in your daily life, every moment, in every action. Why I'll say here, I really don't know how much you got benefit from, me, benefit from others. I cannot ask each of you your experience about studying Dharma. I cannot ask each of you your experience of practicing Dharma. You must experience yourself. Oh, for example, today, we study Lamrim with Geshe Yonten on the Lamrim Chenmo. We study this topic, right, today. Then since today, you must practice until next Saturday. Until next Saturday, if you have some kind of transformation in your mind, until next Sunday, if you have some experience about our class, about Lamrim, that means then I can say, yes, you got some benefit for me, or you got some benefit for this master and that master. If you don't have any transformation, if you don't really reduce your negative thoughts, that means your study cannot become very important. Therefore, please you study and practice as much as you can. The practicing time, daily activity time should not be separate. Always together. Your life, your daily activities always with the Dharma with the Dharma with your daily activities. Then your activities become always positive. Also, all your Dharma knowledge you are applying in your daily life every moment. So today we can stop here. Before we still have I think 20 minutes. So I think in the last few weeks you have been reading Lamrim. So if you have any question, please feel free. If I need to clarify, also you can let me know. I try to clarify. Sonam, is there any question?
Yes, Geshe. Oh, so there's one question coming from Joycelyn Ong.
Okay, please.
When she tried to meditate and choose an object to focus, her image is always blank. For example, to visualize Buddha image is always blank. Is it because her mind is so impure?
Then why don't you meditate on the blanks one? Okay, this is, I think, very common what Buddhist people believe. Oh, I try to visualize Buddha. The Buddha cannot really, I cannot visualize the Buddha. Oh, because my negative karma. Oh, my mind is not pure. Definitely, until we become Buddha, our mind is never be totally pure. It's not a problem because your mind is impure. It's not a problem because you have a lot of negative karma. Not at all. Because maybe you have a problem, you don't know how to visualize. In order to visualize a Buddha, which Buddha you want to visualize? So I said many times, all of you, generally, you have a lot of practices. You have every day you need to do, a lot of sadhana. You have to visualize many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, right? But particularly when you visualize a Buddha, mainly for achieving serenity, meditative serenity, please choose only one Buddha. Doesn't matter which Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni, Amida Buddha, doesn't matter which Buddha. Then you chosen, okay, since today, I visualize Buddha Shakyamuni. First, you need to look at one of the beautiful Buddha image, statue, picture. You look by your eyes. You look very often, watch very often. Then you have some kind of image of the Buddha in your mind. It's copied from the Buddha image, copy from the painting. Right? You have an image of the Buddha in your mind. Then you should not look at the Buddha. Then you just do your meditation posture. Try to remember the Buddha image you have just seen before. Yes, then you can see, little bit here, cannot be complete because you have a lot of a lot of thoughts arising. It disturbs you to have a complete image of the Buddha. Doesn't matter. Then first you remember, the forehead of the Buddha. Then slowly 2 eyes, then 2 ears, the nose, the just face. Then I think shoulder, the hands and legs. Slowly you visualize step by step, pass by parts. Then you can have a clear visualization of the Buddha. Here, all of you must remember the synonymous of the object of meditation. When we do meditation, we are not focusing the external object like a Buddha statue. So we are focus the image, the mental image of the Buddha in our mind. So it's nothing to do with your mind is very impure or you have a lot of negative karmas. I think you have some problem, don't know how to visualize step by step. Clear? Okay, any question?
I don't have questions on the chat room. Dharma brother and sisters, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and post the questions to Geshe, or you can continue to type in the chat room. Yes, I have Catherine. Catherine, you can unmute yourself to ask the questions.
Hi, good afternoon, Geshe. I got a question to check with you. You know, with regards to the organ transplant act, right? For Singaporeans, most of us, if we don't opt out, it is actually compulsory for, if let's say we were to die suddenly and the hospital could harvest our organ, they would just go ahead. So I'm just checking with you, would it be considered like selfish, unvirtuous, you know, for Buddhists to opt out of the organ transplant? Yeah, so can you please advise?
I'm not so clear. Yes, I know there's a concept of, donating organs, harvest organs. So what is your question? What is your question? Can you?
Geshe, she meant that if she would to opt out, which means she doesn't want to, by default, donating her organs, would that be deemed as unvirtuous actions or selfish?
Oh, no. It's not because you have definitely you have a good reason. I think you are thinking, because in Buddhist tradition, we are talking about, the meditating on based on the subtle consciousness. When the 5 elements, dissolve one by one, still we believe the subtle consciousness is still there. There might be a chance you can still meditate on, still you can practice the Dharma, even though when you are clinically dead. If somebody, harvests your organs, then your big body, they're going to disturb your practice. I don't consider, it's based on my understanding, you are not like a selfish, considered as a selfish. You have a good reason not donating the organs because you are a bit worried about disturbing your practice while you are in the subtle level of the death. No selfish. Okay, I don't think there's any questions, so we can stop here because I reduced the time.
There's a question.
Geshe, one more question coming in.
Okay,
Just came in.
Please.
The questions coming from Rose and John.
Mm-hmm.
Under the 9 mental state, it mentioned that your concentration is able to focus continually for a long period of time. How long is considered long?
The longest, actually there's no such as we can say this is longer. Generally, like 3 hours. 3 hours. We can say 4 sessions. Each session has a 3 hours. That means totally 12. The one session, the long hour mean, long period mean 3 hours. The practitioner able to meditate continuously without interrupt by laxity, excitement, other thoughts for 3 hours. You reach to the 9th mental state. 3 hours. Yes, it's generally 3 hours. Yes, Sonam, can you?
Geshe, today there's no question from the Chinese students. Thank you, Geshe.
So all of you, so thank you so much for attending the Lamrim class. So please, go through particularly this meditation section in the Lamrim. Please, because in the past, you attend teaching from different masters. You read different books. You have been hearing, so many different ideas about meditations. You totally, I think, uninstall all your idea about meditation, totally, clear your data and restore, install the idea from Lama Tsong-kha-pa. You must have very clear idea about the meditation based on the Lamrim. If you follow based on Lamrim, then you will have the, the kind of pure idea about meditation. You can have the perfect meditation. Please, clear the all data which you have. You got the data from, different master, different books. Also, you got, certain data from your friends about meditation. So please, clear all the data, install the new data from Lama Tsong-kha-pa personal Lamrim. Then please go to your daily experience for maybe for 1 year, 2021. You mainly go through experience our meditation. Once you achieve meditative serenity with a one object, then you can meditate on any object. Is same thing. For example, if you know how to jump, well, how to jump very well, then you can jump on the east or west or north, doesn't matter. You are very trained. So therefore, please go through the proper meditation experience for 1 year based on the Lamrim. So next we are going to study about the measurement kind of achieving serenity, meditative serenity. Then slowly we enter into spiritual insight. So tomorrow we have a new class. If you wish to attend the new class, you can attend. I make sure the new class will be very simple. I'm not going to talk about a lot of logics and reasoning. Very simple way, go through 4 books. And I hope, this class I will continuously go teach maybe 6-7 months or maybe 1 year. Actually, it's going through Lamrim, but I'm not going to use the Lamrim. The idea bring from Lamrim. So I will use the 4 books. The 4 Noble Truths, Will of Dharma, is the foundation of the Buddha teaching. The Rajasili Sutra is bit extending the meaning of the 4 Noble Truths. Then, Lamb of the Path to Enlightenment is actually Lamrim. It's the root. It's the root, seeds of all the Lamrim. Lamrim from Gelugpa, Nyingma, Sakya, Kagyu, all the Lamrims based on the Lamb of the Path to Enlightenment by Atisha. Then stage of the meditation by Kamala Shila, because there's so many books about meditation, but Lama Tsong-kha-pa, I think, mainly follow the Kamala Shila books about meditation. That means you can have some knowledge about 4 Noble Truths. You can have a knowledge about particularly first 2 truths based on the Rajasili Sutra. Then you will have a kind of mistaken idea of meditation. Then you can have very clear idea how to practice the path. So this is about for tomorrow class. And thank you so much and have a good day. So at the end, so through our recitation, particularly through generating pure motivation, particularly bodhicitta, and reading the Lamrim book, definitely we have accumulated a great amount of merits. The merits, first, we dedicate ourselves to become Buddha, to benefit all sentient beings. Also dedicate the merit free us all the hindrance to study Dharma, to practice the Dharma. Because most of us is over 50. We don't have many years to go. We don't have for a long time to practice Dharma. So we have to study Dharma for very quickly, practice Dharma very fast. Also, we dedicate the merit to benefit all sentient beings, particularly your friends, your dear and near one. Last, we dedicate the merit to benefit all the TPC supporters, volunteers who voluntarily work for TPC. So please dedicate the merit to benefit for them. Okay, thank you. Have a happy Saturday.